Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this one is all about what does your person think of you? So we're going to be getting into their thoughts and feelings for you, what's going through their head when it comes to you, and we're actually going to be doing an extended reading over on Patreon. So if you want to watch this reading in its entirety, that's where you can find the second half, where we are going to be talking about messages from their higher self, their intentions, how things were supposed to work out versus how they did, and getting into all the stuff we can't really say on YouTube. That's where you'll be able to find it. So I am going to post the link for that underneath the timestamps in the description and in the comments. So you can head there if you guys want to watch the full thing. And you will also get access to all my other readings, including the one I just posted, all about what is the gossip about you. So we're finding out what people are saying behind your back. That's a really fun, juicy one. But I have a ton of readings over on my Patreon, and you'll get access to all of them, including love readings, career readings, spirituality readings. Literally everything is posted over there. So definitely check that out, you guys. It's a great resource. And like I said, I'll be posting the link to my Patreon underneath the timestamps. And if you guys really like how I read, you can also get a private one-on-one session with me where I will pull cards just for you and your situation, and you can get a one-on-one consultation with me and a tarot session. So that will be also at the link in my description, briarrosetarot.com, if you want to book an appointment. And I think I'm pretty much booked for this month, but I have some spots next month. So definitely check that out, book in advance, or you might be able to grab one for this month. But either way, we will find a time to get you guys in there. So with that being said, today we have a beautiful selection of crystals for you guys to choose from. And if one has already called your name, you can definitely skip ahead to that point at any time. And if it's your first pick a card reading, you want to go towards the one your energy is feeling called to and drawn to. So it's always a great practice to take a breath, kind of relax before you head into a pick a card reading, and then just go towards the one that really seems to be pulling your energy in, catching your eye, and drawing you in. That's the one that will have the message for you. So with that being said, I am going to throw the numbers up on the screen so you can see which of the piles is which. And if you guys need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we are going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one. So if you guys picked this orange calcite crystal, this is going to be your reading. So for your tarot, you guys got the King of Wands, the Hierophant, the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, 10 of Swords, 2 of Cups, 5 of Cups, the Chariot, the Page of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles reversed. And for your pick a card, you got the Hanged Man. So there's a lot of cards coming out. Actually, a few more flew out than I intended, but it makes sense for you guys because I feel your person has a lot to say and a lot of really strong emotions towards you. It's really notable that you guys got a ton of Wand court cards. So this person has a lot of sexual interest and desire for you. They're very attracted to you. We're leading off with the King of Wands, and we also got the Page and the Knight of Wands. So it's safe to say that the sexual attraction here is very on point and very coming through very intensely. And it actually makes sense that you guys picked orange calcite for your crystal because that is a card for the lower chakras and for that sexual desire. That's a crystal that activates that. So I feel like in this situation and in this relationship, the sexual attraction was never lacking. There was never a lack of desire or just viewing someone as a friend or thinking of them as just a relationship that's kind of, you know, that respectful relationship vibe. It feels like there was always this very heated level of passion and desire and, I don't want to say obsession, but strong intentions and excitement going back and forth between you guys. So I feel like your person still views you to this day as very sexually attracted. And I do feel like they've gone through a bit of a change with their leading card being the Hanged Man, that was your pick a card. So it feels like maybe they've had a change of heart, or they've realized maybe they were running from their emotions for a while when it came to you. And now they're kind of realizing that these emotions that they have towards you are going to stay. I'm almost feeling like this person uses you as like, I want to say a getaway car. And I'm kind of hearing that from Taylor Swift, where they will think about you when they get bored in their daily life. With the Hierophant coming out, I'm getting the vibe that some of them have chosen to live kind of boring lives, or maybe they are in another relationship, but it's kind of what's expected of them. Maybe they married someone, but they're not really in love. Maybe they are in a relationship with someone that makes sense for them, like their family approves, or they're at the same kind of company and it looks good for them to be dating this person, or they're very approved within their social circle or something like that. But it doesn't feel like their heart is in it, or that they're excited by this relationship. It feels like they have to be in this relationship. They're having to kind of, I want to say tolerate is the word that comes to mind, this other person. And like they know logically that they should be with this person because it just makes sense. It's like all the puzzle pieces fit together. It almost feels like an arranged marriage or something, like back in the day, how like prominent families would just be like, I have a single son and you have a single daughter, and we're both the leading merchants in this city, so let's marry them off. Like it feels like that, kind of like people using logic, not love. People using like, this makes sense on paper, not their heart being invested. So whatever this person is doing, whether they're in a relationship or single, it feels like they're trying to follow what's expected of them and trying to do what's right and what they've been told kind of by society that they should do. And something about you was outside of that, or something about you almost brought too much emotions from them. This is also a very powerful crystal, like just I can feel the energy emanating from it. And orange calcite is very powerful in general, but this one in particular, I'm like, wow, it's like taking a shot of espresso. And I feel like your relationship had so much power coming through it, so much sexuality and desire towards you. And you know, I am going to be doing a Patreon extended, and it's just coming to me that this is definitely going to be coming through this part, because again, we got to keep things a little PG on YouTube. But yeah, there's a lot of heat and passion, and we can definitely talk about that in detail on Patreon. So I'm going to post that link underneath the timestamps if you want to watch that. But we did also get the Chariot card. So I feel like they did want to move towards you very strongly. But then there's the Ten of Swords. So also, I don't know, but maybe there was some heartbreak or pain. They might view you with the Hermit coming out as being alone, or like being single, and they're still thinking like, maybe I could have a chance. Maybe they're not coupled up. Or it might be with the Hermit that they're just feeling very alone in their current relationship and they don't feel understood the way they felt understood with you. But I feel like there was a spark between you guys that really made them feel very alive. And I feel like they're mourning the loss of that. Whatever's going on in their life right now, they don't feel so alive. They don't feel so invigorated. They felt so like awakened when they were with you, like all of their senses were firing, and they were just, whatever was happening, it feels like a whirlwind, or like it was just a very heated, almost like one of those like summer romances that go from 0 to 60, or like one of those relationships that happen on vacation, where like people know that they're on a cruise or at a resort for like a week, and they know they don't have a lot of time, so it moves really fast. Whether you guys did develop this relationship over years or not, it feels like there was an instant situation where maybe when you guys met, it was love at first sight, or just instant sexual attraction. Even if you were trying to block that out a little, it feels like it just instantly went to a place of a lot of intensity. You might have been having those conversations about like deep stuff very early on, like family traumas, or like, you know, past relationships day one, where like it automatically felt like this person knew you, and it automatically felt like you guys went to this place of intensity. We did get the Two of Cups, so that can indicate that this person did have really deep feelings and their heart was in it, and it feels like you guys were very connected. But I also feel like there might have been a vibe of this person at first trying to play it off with like, oh, it's just sexual. It's just, I'm just attracted to them. They're just really sexy. And that's all I care about. And kind of trying to run away from their emotions and play it off. Like, I don't think, like, it's not that deep. It's just sexual. I just want to sleep with them, kind of a vibe. But it feels like they're realizing over time that they can't deny it. And I'm hearing that song, Can't Deny My Love by Brandon Flowers. So it's like, I feel like finally they're kind of like, okay, I have to admit what I was feeling for this person. And yes, I was attracted to them, but it wasn't just that. It was a lot more than that. But I don't think they wanted to say that at the time. And with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, they probably do want a new start, but there's also this sense of futility and this sense of like, I don't think there's a chance for us to actually make that happen. There's no way to make this happen in reality. There's no way for this to happen in the real world. Yes, I might be thinking of them on the astral plane and very attracted to them and they're in my head, but there's no way I can make an actual relationship happen. So let me go to some more cards I pre-pulled and then we're going to live shuffle the rest. So I pulled Regeneration, Happy, Happy, Loyal Heart, and Come to the Edge. Wow. So a lot of power coming through in these cards as well. And, regeneration is that card that shows that nothing can destroy love or what's real, even death. It's still standing. You can see this tree's been burnt down, but it's still there. And I feel like this person wants you to know that their emotions for you are still just as strong and still there. I just heard you're not going to get rid of me that easy. So I don't know if they feel like you've been trying to get rid of them or something, or you've been trying to block them out on the astral plane. But it's like, no, my emotions are still there for you. I still think of you and I always will. And it's almost like they're coming through a little possessive, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like they kind of want you to know that as much as you might try to push them away, that emotionally they still are going to be kind of craving you, thinking of you, trying to be with you, again, maybe up on the astral plane, and maybe they're not brave enough to bring this through in reality because we do get the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and so there is a block when it comes to actually physically manifesting this in the real world, but the feelings are there, and they're saying how excited they felt when they were with you, and I feel like it was a really happy time for them. Like, being around you brought them so much happiness and joy and made them feel alive. We got Come to the Edge and Happy, Happy. And obviously Happy, Happy is a card about just beautiful times, a beautiful energy and things just feeling so right. But then with Come to the Edge, that's really about being alive. And that's what's coming to my mind with you guys is it felt like you were alive. It felt like you guys, when you were together, like everything else faded away and it was just the two of you alone in this world. And like maybe your senses were more heightened, like food tasted better. And sometimes that can happen when you fall in love, right? Like just everything seems amazing. It's like that song I'm hearing it that's like raindrops keep falling on my head because nothing's worrying me. Like, I don't know that song. I apologize for my singing. I know it's really horrible, but but that's the song I'm hearing. And I think the whole point is the guy's in love and he's talking about how suddenly, even if it's raining, the world just seems beautiful. That's the vibe I'm getting with you guys, is like everything just feels like amazing when you guys were together. Like, they looked forward to seeing you. The idea of running into you or seeing you or getting to talk to you would make even the most boring meeting they had to sit through or the most boring activity or the most frustrating situation seem tolerable and awesome because they were like, I get to see them at the end of the day. And just having you in their mind and having that possibility of being around you and this kind of electricity you guys had connecting you, because I do feel like there was almost electricity around you guys. Like when you touched, you might have felt that kind of weird spark. Like sometimes when you walk across a carpet or something and you accidentally kind of charge yourself, and then you touch something metal and you get a little shock. I feel like that's something that would happen with you guys when you would touch sometimes, or when you were around each other. It just feels like the air is like sizzling. And I'm guessing that this regeneration card is showing, it might be, what's coming to my mind is like a lightning strike that causes this fire and the tree burning. And I feel like it felt like lightning when you guys were around. And this kind of shows that as well. So it feels like there was just this potency between you guys, this incredible power and this surge of energy that they just felt so emboldened by and so excited about. And they still are loyal to you. They want you to know that even if they are with someone else. And I'm hearing some of you guys roll your eyes and be like, that's BS. Like they moved on, there was someone else, and like that's totally whack. And I'm not saying you guys have to wait around for them. Just my job as a medium to, channel their side of things and let you know what they want you to know and what they're saying. But of course, I would never recommend if someone's in another relationship that you like wait around or whatever. I'm just saying their side, and they're saying that they're still very loyal to you and that you're still number one. They want you to know that even if there was someone else, that you're still number one to them. So yeah, there's I'm hearing that line from the Notebook that's like, it's not over. It still isn't over. And so that's always my cue that someone, even though there's been some distance or maybe some time has elapsed, they still consider you kind of the number one person in their life. So let me get some astro dice to figure out the energies for this situation. Spirit, can you give us some astro dice for pile 1? So we got Gemini, we got the 9th house, Sagittarius, and we got Mercury. That's interesting. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and that's a very communicative sign. And so I feel like this person almost wants to talk to you, but they feel like you would reject them, or you would delete their text, or that maybe you've blocked them or you changed your phone number or something, but it's like they can't get through to you. They might have tried and you never got the text because you blocked them or you changed your number or something. But it's like they do want to talk to you. Or if they never tried, it's like they just wish they had that opportunity. They wish they had some random chance to run into you and then be like, oh, well, why don't we just sit down and talk, like, and act like it's casual? Because I do feel like this person is a little bit afraid of rejection. Like they are proud and they're feeling like if they reach out to you that you'll say no. Or I also feel like they're trying to mitigate with this other relationship. I think that like the relationship, yes, they're not fulfilled by it, but they also don't necessarily want to see it go. There's something they're benefiting from this other relationship, something they're gaining from it, something that is adding to their life a lot. And so they're concerned about what would happen if that just went up in flames. Like, I feel like it's almost like they're feeling a little stuck or something, but not like they're like miserable in their current situation, but it's like just logistically there would be a lot to deal with. So they wouldn't want to be the one to reach out to you, but they definitely want to have that conversation and get to talk to you. With the 9th house, some of you guys might have moved away, or there might be some physical distance separating you guys. I also feel like you guys had an intellectual connection because Jupiter is a planet of philosophy. So you guys might have had a very deep kind of conversations about very deep subjects, even about philosophy itself, or like the meaning of life, spirituality, that kind of a thing. We also have the Hierophant there, which can talk about that as well. So I feel like there was a depth here to the connection, even though it is based on sexuality. And Sagittarius is a fire sign, so there's a kind of fiery sexual component, even though it's like the little philosophy lecturer of the zodiac. So yeah, it is still got that sexiness of the fire signs. But let's get some song cards to figure out the vibe. Spirit, what are the messages through songs that this person wants to convey? Band of Gold, Frida Payne. Okay. All of Me Wants All of You, Sufjan Stevens. I Want to Be Yours, Arctic Monkeys. So a lot of deep songs here with the Sufjan and the Arctic Monkeys. Wish You Were On It, Florida Georgia Line. Yes, they want you to come to them. That's what I was kind of picking up on, is like, this song is all about, I wish you would kind of communicate with me. I don't want to have to do that. It's literally fantasizing about like this person coming back and apologizing, which I think is like, it always cracks me up because I'm like, it's such an immature thing to write a song about. But anyway, that's just my sense of humor. But I think that, yeah, this person, like, it's like they want to talk to you, they want to patch things up, but they don't want to have to be the one. It might be their pride, it might be their own sense of kind of dignity, but it's not undignified to apologize. But maybe this person views it as that, like they feel like there's a power dynamic here and they're going to look foolish if they reach out to you. And they feel very strongly that like, if you reached out, it would be better and they don't have to put themselves at risk. So they are wanting you to be the one to initiate contact. With Band of Gold, I feel like they might have felt rejected by you. They might have felt like you turned them down in some way. And you like, yeah, they made you an offer or they reached out to you or they gave you some kind of commitment, but you weren't feeling it and feeling rejected in some way. Like they felt like you blocked them out somehow. And so I feel like there's a lot of wounded pride coming through. I feel like there's a big sense of like, they rejected me, they never took me seriously, they kind of dismissed me, and they didn't really appreciate me. And like, I feel like this person was hurt by that. I feel like they really took it very to heart. I feel like it really bothered them how they saw you as kind of either moving on really fast or like just living your best life afterwards. Like you just went on and just were thriving or something, or you were looking really good. I feel like you guys still look good, by the way, however much time has passed. They're acknowledging that you guys look really gorgeous. But also, I feel like in the moment, that bothered them because they wanted you to be sad as they were feeling. And it bothered them that you guys were so beautiful. But there's a very strong depth of emotion coming through. We can see, I mean, anyone who knows these songs knows that it's all about a very deep kind of love situation. So I feel like this person, it's like I'm hearing something like everything I have, this is interesting channeled message. Everything I have with this other person, for those of you guys who are in a third party with this person, everything they have with the third party is what they wanted to have with you. And they just said you could have had it all or something like that, which is kind of weird. But they're saying like everything I've done with this third party, I wanted to do with you instead. And it could have been with you. But they were like, you rejected me. Don't forget that. You rejected me. They keep saying that. Don't forget that too, is what they keep saying. So they really want you to know that they're kind of putting the blame on you. And they're saying, don't deny that or don't make yourself into a victim. Again, I'm just channeling. I'm not saying this is the truth. I'm just saying their perspective, how they look at things. They're like, you're the one who did this. You ended it, not me. It was your choice. And so they're putting the blame on you. Now, how true that is, I don't know. I'm not like a therapist or a family counselor, but I'm just saying their side. They're like, you did the rejection. Don't twist things. Don't get it twisted because I was the one who you rejected, not vice versa. So they really are putting it on your side. And I feel like that's why they wanted to move on with the third party, is almost to prove to you like someone wants me, someone wants this offer. You might have turned me down, but I can get other people. But it's like they never had the same craving and the same desire and the same feeling towards this other person that they did towards you. It just never really compared. Their feelings towards you were a million times stronger and nothing, like, doesn't compare at all to their feelings towards this other person. Let me get a few more songs. What was that? Let me see. Never Get You Right, Brandon Flowers. Okay, so that's like, I was telling you guys, I was hearing another Brandon Flowers song, which is, what was the other Brandon? I don't know. I named it at the beginning. Awful Things, Lil Peep. Okay. So what was the other Brandon Flowers song? Can't Deny My Love. That was it. So yeah, they're from like the same album, and this song is about, basically he's singing about his love for his wife, and it's a really deep album and very romantic. I would recommend it if you guys like that kind of music. And I feel like this album is just about like someone trying to push someone away in love and the other person being like, no, I'm not going to run away. I'm not going to let you push me away. So I feel like you guys really saw each other down to the core. Like also Come to the Edge can be a song about showing your most honest, can be a card about showing your most honest truth of yourself to the world and really being brave enough to do that. And maybe that's something you guys had together, is you would be really honest with yourself and get down deep and expose everything that you might usually hold back and not tell anyone. And maybe you guys had really deep discussions about like family stuff or about hopes and fears and all those things. It just feels like you guys didn't have a surface level relationship or have the typical relationship discussions that are just kind of like, I want to get this career goal and oh, that's cool. Well, I blah, blah, blah. It feels like you guys went so deep, so quick, and it was just so intense. And there was such an intimacy and deepness and just very Plutonian vibes of like discussing each other's, like I said, traumas or family history or deepest hopes and fears. So it's like you both saw a kernel of each other that no one else gets to see, and you kind of brought that out on each other for better or worse. It might have been a bad thing. It might have felt kind of traumatic at times. So the depth of this connection, because it feels like it just was so over the top and intense. But I feel like And Awful Things can be a song kind of about that. And the lyrics are literally, bother me, tell me awful things. So I feel like maybe you guys really discussed each other's like deep wounds and like, went down into the most honest kind of Plutonian Scorpio 8th house territory of like seeing each other on such a deep soul level. And sometimes those relationships can be really hard to kind of come back from, because you're like, we had the deepest connection and now we don't really talk. We don't talk anymore, as the Selena Gomez song that's also playing in my head just now. So it's like, how do we go from being that close to having no contact at all? Like that can be kind of traumatic, that back and forth. But I feel like you had that level of intensity and that connection. Let me spin the Astro Dice one more time. So we got Jupiter again, 5th house, and Gemini. Wow, a lot of Gemini. So maybe some of these people were Geminis, or you're a Gemini. It could be Virgo too, because that's ruled by Mercury. Jupiter, Sagittarius, and 5th house, Leo. So those could be dominant placements. But I feel like this also just seemed like you guys might have had sun synastry, some aspects to your sun, to each other's suns or something, or some Jupiter moon aspects or something. Jupiter Sun aspects. It just seems like there was a brightness too about you guys, an intensity, a power, it feels like you light up when the person walks into the room. It feels like you have this unspoken deep connection, and it feels like you won the lottery when you guys were around each other. Let me get some of these cards. Spirit, can you give us some messages for pile ones from their person to them? Reparenting yourself, forgiveness reversed, the distorted feminine. So like I said, this person does blame you a little bit. They're kind of putting the blame on you more so than on themselves. They're kind of saying that it's your fault. Now, again, I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm just communicating their side. But I feel like they're blaming you for this. They're saying it was your fault and that you guys, like they've just said something like, I was all in, or I was committed, I was in for it, and they ran away. They were the one who chose to end this. So they keep saying something like, don't let them play victim, which I don't think you guys are. Obviously, you just clicked into a reading, but I don't know. It's like they're almost taking a very harsh view of this, or they're angry still. Forgiveness is reversed. So they still have hard feelings about the rejection. And I'm hearing hard feelings, loveless by Lord. I feel like they're saying like, this really did a number on me, or something like that. Like it really created a little bit of a wound for them, and it was hard for them to move on. It was hard for them to deal and process with this. So I feel like, yeah, it's almost like you might have helped them with their traumas. Like I said before, I feel like a lot of those things came up. And with reparenting yourself, I feel like you would have conversations with them about like their situation, or about what was going on in their life, or about encouraging them. Maybe both sides did, but especially they got a lot from you on that. They got a lot from the connection with you. It meant a lot to them to have someone like you. They also view you as very ethereally beautiful. Just came through a shot of your face, which is gorgeous. A lot of you guys have really impeccable bone structure, and something about the way your hair falls over your face, or the way your hair kind of goes around your face, is really beautiful. And I'm hearing something about them touching your hair or running their fingers through your hair, but they were very attracted to, I feel like, your face and your hair in particular, and your hands as well. And the way you touch things and move things, like just the way your hand moves, they find that very attractive. But Yeah, it's like there was something healing about your energy. There's something very sweet and loving about how you are towards them. Obviously, most people are like loving in the context of a relationship, but I feel like you guys are especially loving and kind of gentle and have this very sweet side to you, very open and giving. And when you're in a relationship, you do so much for the person. And it's like they wanted to be on the receiving end of that. Some of you guys have a very prominent Venus energy. You might have an exalted Venus, Venus in Pisces, or a very strongly amplified Venus energy. But you guys give off this loving, magnanimous vibe, Venus in Taurus, Venus in Libra, something like that. But you give off a very loving, gentle, sweet energy. Venus moon aspects as well, because I feel like you're very nurturing and you kind of take care of the people around you, Venus in Cancer. But they wanted to be, like I said, on the receiving end of that, and it really kills them that they can't. So I almost feel like, let me get a couple more cards. They're telling me to take like one or two more. What other messages do we have? Compatibility and creativity. Anything else? The garden. So I feel like this person wanted to do a lot for you. They were saying they could take care of you. They could look after you. They could do stuff for you. They kind of felt like you were above them in some way. And I feel like you might have inspired some creative projects, either like songs, or they wrote something about you, or they painted things about you. They might have painted your face or something like that. But there's something about you that has really deeply inspired them. And they might have painted something for you guys and actually given it to some of you, or made something for you, like knit something for you, or I don't know, made some pottery for you and given it to you. They might have even played it off like, oh, like here's this, I just painted this plate. It was just for like this stupid pottery class. It's just been laying around. Why not take it? But it's like it meant a lot for them and they were thinking of you the whole time while they were painting it. But they might, for others of you, they might not have given it to you, but I do feel like you guys inspired them creatively, but they wanted to take care of you and they felt like you rejected that. They feel like you put up a wall and maybe you were kind of like, I can do this myself. I don't need you. And they wanted to look after you. They wanted to really take on that role in your life. Let me get some messages from them. They're coming through pretty mournfully and kind of angry. I feel like a lot of these feelings have been brought up lately, maybe with this Pisces moon we've been having. A lot of people have been in their feelings lately, so maybe that's why it came up. What's going on? What are the messages from pile one's person to pile one? So we got miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. Like attracts like. If you long for more love, be more loving. Forgiveness. Wow, that's coming through twice. Nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. So why are they not forgiving then? Maybe they think you're not going to forgive them. Maybe that's why it was blocked before, but I feel like they're still upset a little bit. So I don't know why they're telling you to forgive, but some of these messages can be hypocritical. You know, we all can look at things through our own perspective. But yeah, I do feel like this person, they would like to be back in contact with you. They would like to have that connection with you again. They would like to be able to hold you and touch you again. I do feel like you guys were very similar in so many ways. Like you guys had so much in common. You guys connected on such a deep level, such a deeper level than they connect with this other person. It feels like you two truly understood each other on like a soul level. You might have had past life relationships, soulmate connection, where you have spent past lifetimes together. But it feels like you were almost like partners in crime. Like as my mom would say, simpatico. So I don't know if she made up, I don't know if that's a word or not, but she always would say simpatico when two people were just so alike and kind of in alignment with each other, you know, just like two peas in a pod. I feel like that's what you guys were like, is like there was this common understanding, or you might have shared kind of weird interests. Like you might have wanted to watch a very specific type of film together. Like both of you guys were into horror films, or both of you liked a very specific type of like anime, or you both listened to like a very obscure genre of music or something. But there's something about it that only you guys share that I feel like they don't have with their current partner, but almost like again, there's a lot of pride coming through. There's a lot of wounded ego and feelings of like, I was rejected. I'm going to prove to you I'm good enough. I'm good enough for them. Might not have been good enough for you, but I am good enough for them. And I feel like with back to what you love, it's like this person would love to go back to the feelings and the time you guys had together, but they feel a very strong sense that you would reject them or that you moved on. With the Hermit card coming out off the top, they might feel like you're thriving right now, like you're doing so well and you don't need them, and like you're very independent and you've moved on and all of that. But I feel like they really look back on the time you guys had together and feel like it was the most incredible time in their life and feel like it was such a blessing and it was kind of a miracle for them. The time you guys spent and the connection you guys had and the beauty of your time together. Like, it feels like your face is just so beautiful. I really feel like a lot of you guys just face is just like stunning, just gorgeous. At least they see it that way. And your eyes, wow, your eyes, something about, I feel like there's some depth in your eyes, in your pupils or irises, whatever they're called. But you know, there's something about the color and the depth, and like there's like flecks of color within your eyes that's very beautiful, and they could stare in them all day long. And they say the eyes are the window to the soul. So it's just, I feel like they could have looked at you for like hours. Like I feel like they just, in their dreams, they get to like stare at you. They get to just like gaze at you, because I feel like they just find you so beautiful on not just a physical level, but that's true, but like a soul level. And it's almost like they might have wanted too much from you. I don't know. This person's giving me Scorpio vibes. I don't know if they have prominent Scorpio placements, but it feels like they wanted all of you. And we did get All of Me Wants All of You by Sufjan Stevens, which I'm just hearing it playing in my mind. So that's the perfect song for them. And we pulled it. And I feel like, you know, that's a beautiful love song, period. But also, like, they really wanted all of you. It's not just like, oh, yeah, that's a romantic love song. It's like, no, take the title literally. All of me wants all of you. And I feel like in a way, you weren't ready for the depth of their emotions, or you weren't ready for the level to which they wanted you. Like, it might have been overwhelming to you. You might have been like, whoa, like, let's pump the brakes. We haven't known each other that long. Or I'm not, like, this is more than I bargained for. I wanted a fun relationship and you're wanting like a lot from me. But it feels like they were just craving more and more and more and more from you. And you kind of somehow needed to put up a little bit of a wall or to protect yourself, or you felt unready for it. Maybe you were on a healing journey, because we did get some cards alluding to that. But it's like they do blame you a little bit. There is a little bit of anger or feeling of rejection still, to be honest. So yeah, there's a lot of intensity here, but I can also see why it kind of didn't work out, because I feel like there's a lot of, yeah, healing that would need to happen, or like a discussion about this, and kind of a mature understanding that you weren't trying to hurt them, that you were trying to protect yourself and look after yourself, and they just desired so much from you. And maybe it was wise to pull back a little, and if they could have understood that, maybe that would have been better. But their feelings and their desires for you are really overwhelming and intense. And as far as how they feel, they are still very attracted. They are still 100% into you. They are all about it. And I feel like they just, dang, they care really a lot. Their feelings are extremely strong, pile one. So I think I will end the reading there. But if you guys want to see the extended version of this reading, where we channel messages from their higher self and really get into further clarification about what they think you're up to now and their opinions of everything, then definitely head to my Patreon. We get into things in a lot greater detail. So check out the link in my description underneath the timestamps, and I'll post it underneath the timestamps in the comments as well if you want to join us over there. But thank you so much for letting me tune into your energy. It really was a pleasure. You guys have a beautiful love connection here. I really hope it resonated, you guys. Let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So drop me a comment and let me know what you think and what your story is. I love hearing about them. And make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Give this a like if it resonated with you. And make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on so you find out as soon as I post. And if you like this reading and want to watch more of my readings, you should check out my Patreon, link in my description for that, where I post all my additional readings. And I just posted one all about what the gossip is about you. So what are people saying behind your back, the things they're whispering about you, they wouldn't want you to know about. We get into all of it, we expose it all. So check that out if you want to find out all the dirty details about what people are saying about you. And that is in my description for my Patreon. And if you want a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also check out my website, briarrosetarot.com, and set up a time to get my undivided attention and one-on-one focus. And we can set up a time for you to connect with me. Yeah, just one-on-one. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back very soon for another reading. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye. Hey pile 2, so if you guys got this jade crystal, this is going to be your reading. So for your pick a card, you guys got the Hermit, and for your tarot, you got the Three of Pentacles reversed, the King of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Ten of Wands reversed, the Chariot, Seven of Swords, and the Sun reversed. So I'm feeling like this person kind of wanted a certain measure of control in your relationship, and maybe they feel like you wouldn't give it to them. Maybe they feel like you kind of wouldn't work with them with the Three of Pentacles reversed, or like they did want to be kind of that authority figure and have some kind of control over the relationship in some sense. And it feels like you guys are very wild and kind of want to do things your own way, or you were rebellious or resistant to them. I don't know if this person's kind of a little domineering, or they just like to have things kind of on their schedule, but it feels like they kind of didn't know how to handle you. Like you feel like you wouldn't give in to them in some way. And I feel like that excites them and really interests them, but it also kind of makes them annoyed in some ways as well, because they kind of have this desire to like control you or like lock you up and hide you away from the world. Because yeah, I feel like in a way that's what they kind of need to feel safe in relationships. And it feels like you are like, I'm going to do my own thing. I want to be independent. We got the Hermit leading off the reading, or maybe they even were afraid that you were cheating with the Three of Pentacles reversed. They might have thought you were in another relationship, or that you were running off with someone else. But it feels like they're kind of pointing to you and being like, they didn't want me, or they wouldn't accept me. And I feel like your person feels like they did do the work for you, like they did make an offer or try their best, but maybe they're not the best at expressing their emotions. With the King of Swords coming out, they might be someone that feels more comfortable kind of in the realm of like facts and logic, as I always say, than in the realm of emotions. And in that kind of cups world, they're more comfortable in the kind of intellectual swords energy. You guys might have had really amazing conversations, very intellectual and deep, but it feels like this person wanted to have it be more, but maybe they never got that chance. Maybe they never got the chance to make it into more of a like the kind of love they wanted, more of a physical connection and more of a deep love connection. And maybe things stayed at the level of being a conversation or a connection or a flirtation, but they never moved into the realm of like an actual relationship for some of you. Or if it was a relationship, it feels like there was a lot of intellectual discussions and those kind of conversations being thrown around. And maybe this person is a little bit removed from their own emotions. But I do feel like they are upset about the fact that they're no longer with you or in contact with you. And with the Seven of Swords, they might be snooping and kind of lurking on your social media and kind of trying to find out things about you surreptitiously without really being direct and open about it. So they might be asking around about you behind your back to friends, but playing it off and being like, oh, have you heard about Anne? Oh, okay, cool. No, I was just curious, and acting like they're really casual. But you know, they're not so casual, but they don't want anyone to know about their intentions and their emotions. I feel like this person just isn't comfortable presenting their emotions to the world or letting people know that they're soft and vulnerable on the inside. They probably do try to present themselves to the world as someone who kind of has it together, so to speak, putting that in quotes, like someone who is, you know, gets things done and is very disciplined and very logical, and they don't want to seem overly emotional or crazy about you. So I feel like they would hold those things very close to the vest and maybe not even let you know the full extent to their emotions, maybe even downplay it to themselves to a certain extent and try to act like they're not really so emotional, they don't really care. I do feel like this person though, they were very fascinated by you. It feels like I just keep getting them being like rebellious over and over. So there's something about you that kind of was rebellious that I feel like this person really liked. And I feel like they were very excited by it. They almost took it as a challenge. Like I feel like there were times when they would try to kind of make inroads towards you or come onto you in some way and you guys would push them away, or you would be like, no, I don't like how you asked that, or something like that. And at first, maybe they would be like, excuse me, but then they would like think about it and kind of get a kick out of it. And I'm hearing I Get a Kick Out of You by Frank Sinatra. So I feel like they actually really like the fact that you're not kind of easy with them. Like you put up a little bit of a challenge with them. And I feel like that really kind of turns them on. Like they find that very exciting and kind of fascinating, and it kind of stays on their mind and they think about it a lot. I also feel like you guys are really smart, great conversationalists, and you can hold your own with them. So that's something that they keep bringing up is like, they would have conversations with you that they can't really have with anyone else. That your conversations were always deeper and more on point and more interesting than they get with others. And it's almost like you can hold your own with them, because I feel like they can get a little competitive at times. They might be one of those kind of competitive conversationalists. I'm putting a lot of things in quotes with them. I don't know if that's something they do or maybe they quote people, but I feel like they seem like one of those people that, like, if you were to say quote someone and be like, oh, I heard this Martin Luther King Jr. quote, they would be like, oh, well, I just heard a quote by this person. Or if you were like, oh, I learned this cool fact, like, did you know this? They would be like, well, yeah, I did know that. And actually, I know this too, So I feel like there's someone that kind of gets excited by that intellectual kind of rigor or having a smart conversation and does want a little bit to be on top at times. So they might have even brought that energy into the relationship. And you guys might have both found out that kind of exciting, like this back and forth kind of tennis match conversationally, or in the power dynamic of the relationship. It might have felt like at times one person was kind of calling the shots, then it would flip, and both sides are kind of trying to get the reins. But it feels like it was like an interesting, exciting dynamic that you guys really liked and enjoyed. It wasn't like something annoying where you were like, oh God, they're just being so difficult. It feels like you were excited by it, invigorated by it. You liked it. Both of you guys kind of liked it. So let me get some song cards to figure out the vibes for this song. So we got Justin Bieber, Yummy. What is the energy for pile two's person towards them? A Sky Full of Stars, Coldplay. Love is a Losing Game, Amy Winehouse. What Part of Forever, CeeLo Green. So I just got this thing where I don't know if this just applies for some people, but maybe you guys had a discussion where like maybe you were into like astrology and they were into like astronomy, and maybe you would talk about like the stars in the sense of like Venus is love, and they were like, no, Venus is like a gaseous cloud, or like whatever. I don't know what it is. It is a planet, but maybe they would, go into like the details of like, I don't believe in astrology. It's just a rock in the sky. And you would have like a metaphysical idea of things. But I feel like they are that kind of person that might be a little skeptical, or might even give you a little bit of a hard time, or want to kind of prove to you how much knowledge they have and show off a little bit about, I am really smart and all those things. This person might have a little bit of a pessimistic idea of love with Love is a Losing Game by Amy Winehouse, where they just assume that they're kind of going to get their heart broken. They might have been rejected in the past by other people. And that might have been something that they were afraid of, and that kind of held them back from fully being honest with you. Because I do feel like this person didn't go into the relationship in their full Venus energy, or with an exalted Venus and Pisces type energy, with just endless trust and being fully open, it feels like they were being a little bit guarded throughout the relationship. And they certainly have kind of a fear of like fully going into their emotions and then being rejected, and then especially being made a clown of. They really don't want that. They don't want to be humiliated, and they have this fear that you would like go around and tell everyone about like them confessing their feelings and that they would look like an idiot. So I feel like they definitely played things very close to the vest, and maybe that's why you're asking about them or thinking about them, is like you never got that full closure or confirmation of their feelings and their emotions. And I feel like you should know a lot of that is because of their own past. And it doesn't have to do with them having a lack of emotions towards you or about anything you did. It has to do with their own emotional reserve because of heartbreak or maybe childhood stuff. But there's a definite fear of rejection they have, and they feel much safer in the kind of intellectual realm than they do in the cups realm, talking about emotions and getting kind of mushy and ooey gooey. So I feel like sometimes they just don't want to access that kind of at all, and they might even block that part of themselves out. Let's get some more songs for pile 2 about their person's feelings towards them. I've Got You Under My Skin, Frank Sinatra. And didn't I just quote a Frank Sinatra song? So I guess maybe this person is a Frank Sinatra fan, or maybe you are. But I feel like a lot of Frank Sinatra's songs have that kind of vibe to them of like kind of finding someone funny and kind of, or being attracted to a woman that he finds kind of funny, and almost like he doesn't even want to be that attracted to her, or he doesn't even want to be like going kind of goo goo gaga over her, but he can't help himself, and kind of like, I wish I could just be like very stoic about this and be very kind of emotionally removed, but I'm not, and I just find myself thinking of this person so much. So I feel like that's the vibe, where like this person isn't the type to be super romantic and like watch The Notebook and cry and get in their feelings and celebrate Valentine's Day every year and like throw rose petals everywhere, but they found themselves thinking of you a lot and being very curious about you. It's also something where like they couldn't quite figure you out. I feel like they usually are very good at figuring people out and intellectually kind of getting their head around someone and kind of being like, oh, okay, so that's what's going on. Okay, on to the next. But with you, it feels like there's a lot of layers of complexity and a lot of depth and a lot of kind of confusion that they had, or curiosity, or like, I cannot figure this person out. I can't get my head around them. And so I feel like that's what kept them coming back for more, almost like they weren't looking for a relationship, but their kind of fascination with you means that there's like a lot of duality towards you. I feel like you guys are not just a one-dimensional type person where you're just in one energy. You might have a kind of contradictory astrology chart, or you might be like, actually, I don't talk to them about astrology. I wasn't that into astrology, but you're watching a tarot reading, you know? So maybe you're like a little bit into tarot, but you're kind of skeptical, or maybe you have that part of yourself where like you can kind of go on both sides of the fence and be in that intellectual realm, but then you can also be in the kind of feeling realm. But it feels like you have a lot of layers to you, more so than the average person. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why they kept coming back for more and couldn't just kind of forget about you, because I feel like that's honestly, not to be like insulting, but that's kind of what they wanted at first, was just to have, they weren't looking for anything serious. And there is an element too of them feeling a little betrayed by you with what part of forever. And I am getting that vibe that they might feel like you cheated or you moved on, or they think that you're in another relationship and they take it as a little bit of a betrayal. They feel like you're not as loyal to them as they wanted. And maybe because they have this fear of rejection, or this fear that has to do with past relationships, maybe they're just really taking that to heart. Let's get some more songs. Money, Power, and Glory by Lana Del Rey. That makes sense, because I definitely feel like they are someone that, like I said, is very kind of competitive. And then we just got Jealous by Chromeo. So like I was saying, they're a little jealous. They definitely perceive you as either having moved on and being in another relationship, or that you were in a relationship. Something is coming up about you being with other people or someone else, and them not really being super excited about that and not really supporting that, and definitely taking that as a negative and as a bit of a betrayal. So let's get some astro dice to figure out the astrological energy for pile two's person's feelings for pile two. And so we got Virgo. Oh my God, that is so perfect for this person. We got this ninth house, Sagittarius, and then we got Pluto. Wow. Okay. So some deep energy there. So like I said, Virgo is perfect for this person because I feel like they are very intellectual. Virgo's ruled by Mercury. It relates to the sixth house in astrology. And sixth house is also a house of your kind of work, daily schedule, and routine. So you might have met this person at work or at school. Yeah, there's definitely that element where you guys might be co-workers, also with the Three of Pentacles, or students in the same class, something like that. And there is an education aspect throughout this whole house because we also, throughout this reading, because we also have the ninth house. So definitely you guys might have met in school or something like that, on the same team or something at work. Then we have, like I said, Pluto. So Pluto can talk about a lot of depth of intensity. And I do feel like this person was a little possessive of you. They definitely kind of wanted all of you and they wanted to know that you were loyal. Pluto's a very, Scorpio and Pluto and the eighth house is very into loyalty and it's very intense connections. It's not like, oh, okay, like you can be in your relationship and just kind of, you can flow free and you can go around with this person and I don't care. Like Scorpio is like, they want all of you and they don't want to hear about you talking to someone else. They don't want to hear about you being even a little tiny bit of disloyal because that to them is like a wrap. Like there's no going back from it. And so I feel like sometimes maybe this person, it was some kind of small thing where you were talking to someone else or you were, you moved on, but there was like no betrayal. Maybe like you guys had broken up and you moved on and like it had been a couple months since you guys dated and there was no overlap, but they're taking it as like an attack or they're like, wow, I can't believe they would do that. They're definitely very into this idea of like kind of you betrayed me or that you weren't loyal or you didn't care as much or something like that, like something about taking offense to that. And I just felt really faint. So I don't know if some of you guys fainted or maybe some of you guys felt weak in the knees around them. Not everyone, but that's coming through. That came through really strongly. So I don't know. That's a really interesting feeling, but maybe sometimes you felt a little vulnerable about them around them at times, or there were things about them that made you feel a little nervous because I can see that I feel like they have a very intensely, not critical, but they see things very deeply. And Scorpio and Virgo can both be like that. Virgo can be very critical. That's why Venus is debilitated in Virgo, because it's just a Virgo's nature to be kind of a perfectionist, to look at a situation from all angles. Sometimes in a relationship, we don't want our partner to see us from all angles and to know everything about us and to know everything and think about it super intellectually. We want them to be that kind of delusional Pisces, which is why it's exalted in Pisces, because we want a little bit of that, like, oh, everything's awesome, even when it's not. So maybe this person really saw you down to your core. And Scorpio is that way too. They want to know all the secrets. And maybe sometimes for you, that made you feel a little vulnerable or weak because that feeling came over me really strong. Then we have the ninth house, which is Sagittarius. And like I said, that is ruled by Jupiter, which is a planet of expansion. It's also higher learning and philosophy and those kind of deep conversations. So I feel like your conversations were really on point. You guys probably talked about really deep subjects, maybe politics or metaphysical subjects, philosophy or current events, political events on a very deep level. It feels like there was a lot of intellectual nature between you guys and a mutual respect here where maybe you would have dismissed someone else who wasn't quite as smart and they would have done the same. And it's almost like they kind of were impressed by the fact that you could hang with them because I feel like a lot of people couldn't. I feel like a lot of people can't keep up with their mind and how smart they are. And you guys are just on their level. You guys are perfectly capable of having that tennis match conversationally and going back and forth with them and keeping up. And you're not going to be like, wait, who is that? The prime minister of what country? You know your stuff. You're very smart and intelligent. And you can probably be like, oh no, actually you got that name wrong, or you messed up that historical event happened a year earlier. And I feel like they were kind of like, oh, okay. And it might have at times even been, like I said, a little competitive, but in a fun way. So let me spin the astro dice one more time, see if we get anything else. So we got, I love when they do the exact same Astrology is just so funny to me. So we got Virgo again in the sixth house, like we were talking about, which is ruled by Virgo. And then we have Saturn. And Saturn makes sense for them as well because it rules Capricorn, the 10th house of career. So again, this strong emphasis that you might have met as coworkers or as classmates. But Saturn's also a planet of discipline and hardship. And I feel like this person has that vibe. I don't know, like there's kind of a weird bedroom component coming through that I'm not going to talk about on YouTube, but I will probably talk about it if I do an extended reading, and I'll let you guys know down in the comments if I go ahead with that. I'm thinking I will because there's a lot of juiciness that we need to cover here. So let's get some more cards for pile 2. Okay, so we got Divine Feminine. Okay, something just fell on the floor. We got Resolving Conflict. The Silver Waterfall, and let's get one. Okay, let's use that. The Garden. So I feel like this person, yeah, they definitely wanted to kind of take care of you. And I do feel like they're kind of feeling a little rejected because it feels like I feel like they have this idea of relationships where they kind of want all or nothing. They kind of wanted all of you, and they didn't want you to put up walls to them or have any kind of like keeping your own identity. Oh, we just got the distorted masculine. That was the one that flew out. Okay, so that makes sense for them as well. So that's interesting that you're the divine feminine, or they have the divine feminine distorted masculine here. So I guess that's how they see this whole thing. But I do feel like the masculine in this situation, or whoever this other party is, might have had a little bit of an immature energy and could have that distorted masculine thing that can be overly competitive, can be in too much of a Mars energy, even when it comes to a relationship, can be that person that in a conversation is kind of always competing to be like the ruler, the leader of it, and sometimes isn't as comfortable going into the feminine world and allowing the feminine to take her role as her own authority in the relationship in terms of the feminine realm, and might challenge those kind of feminine concepts, like might make fun of like rom-coms, or might, when she's like putting on her makeup, be like, oh God, that's so stupid, or you know what I mean? Those kinds of things where there's not as much respect for the femininity or the feminine side of things, and more of an emphasis on the masculine and kind of the facts of logic of things. And maybe when you use your feminine intuition, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's so stupid. How would, like, intuition isn't real. And so there is a little bit of that vibe in this situation that I think might have caused some conflict, where I feel like if this person was more understanding of your feminine side and allowed you to really stand in that really strongly, this relationship might have had a better chance to work out. And of course, if you're a masculine watching about a feminine, it could be the power dynamic is flipped. It could be a feminine that didn't really feel comfortable with you being in your masculine at all, and thought you really needed to change everything about yourself, and wasn't comfortable if you were like, oh, I'm just going to take the day off to go like, you know, be in the woods for the day, or whatever the masculine gets up to. I'm not a masculine, so sorry, I don't know too much, but you know, this is not my realm of focus. But whatever the masculines are up to, maybe you have a hobby of like carpentry or working out. Yeah, that's a great one for the masculine especially. And maybe, you know, the feminine wasn't okay with that. Maybe they would be like, you know, you can't leave me. We were supposed to go to brunch together. And you're like, I need my downtime in the gym. And so, you know, that's why it's always important that there's some understanding of the yin yang in relationships, and understanding of different roles that different people play, and coming together and having balance. And I feel like for whatever reason, this person does get a little competitive and a little controlling. Like they kind of want, I don't think they would put it that way, but I feel like they really definitely have an emphasis on kind of not kind of like having things their way a little bit, and wanting to make sure that they come out on top in relationships. So there might have been some unnecessary conflict because of that. And I feel like this person wasn't necessarily honest with you about how much they got from the relationship. Like I feel like they wouldn't want you to know how much they did really care about you, and how much they how much they really enjoyed you. I feel like they, in a way, they kind of would play things close to the vest, maybe as a power play. Like they didn't want you to know that they felt vulnerable. They didn't want you to know that they really did care and that their emotions were in it. Because again, they have this sense that if they reveal that, that they'll look like a clown. And I totally forgot to read these cards, which I pre-pulled. So we got Never Ending Story, To Be Fair, A Change in the Wind, and Building Blocks. So I'm literally hearing someone say, to be fair, in my head in like that kind of annoying way when someone's playing devil's advocate and they'll be like, well, to be fair that yes, zoos are wrong, but blah, blah, or whatever. Like someone that's just kind of being annoyingly argumentative and constantly playing devil's advocate, you know, and you're like, this is like a serious topic. We don't even need you playing devil's advocate about something like this. Like just stop. So I don't know if this person would do that or they were someone that would always have kind of like a comeback or an argument, or they would always be saying something when you were like, well, I feel really strongly about this, and they would always not really see it through your perspective. But that's kind of what I'm getting, or how I would interpret it. But I do feel like, again, there's a lot of intellectual back and forth and kind of ping pong going on, and you guys really understanding each other. You guys might both be readers, and might both be people who like watch documentaries or educate yourselves or know a lot. But I do feel like their feelings are still ongoing for you. I just feel like they wouldn't feel comfortable stepping up to the plate and being honest about how they feel and coming to you and being really vulnerable. It feels like they would want to kind of have the upper hand in this, and they would feel stupid if they came to you and they were like, by the way, I made a huge mistake. Like they're just not the type of person to pour out their heart and to be really vulnerable and to really lay it all out on the table. But I do feel like their feelings for you still go on, and I do feel like they definitely lurk your social media. And for those of you guys who are in a relationship right now, they definitely are a little bit jealous of your current partner, and they definitely are very focused on your current partner, and something about your current partner being good looking or something, and them feeling threatened and saying negative stuff about your current partner, maybe saying that like, yeah, they're attractive, but they're an airhead, or they're not that smart, or talking bad about them to other people. It's like they want to win you back, but they're kind of not, they don't want to seem, I'm hearing like a simp. So maybe they would say the word simp, or they would say that like, you know, it's corny if someone does that, or like they would roll their eyes at Valentine's Day, or they would say that like it's lame if someone, you know, tries to win back a girlfriend or whatever. I just feel like they definitely don't feel comfortable with those big displays of emotion. So let me get some message cards for pile 2 from their person. Spirit, can you give me some message cards for pile 2 from their person? What does their person want them to know? What do they want to say to them? Okay, their higher self is coming through right now to tell me that they do have strong emotions for you, and they're sorry they never actually expressed it. Wow, they won't let me pull a message card as I'm channeling, I guess. We got be supportive. And that's, you know what, that's a really good message from their higher self, I think, is that they wish they could be more supportive of you. They wish they could have been more honest with you and more vulnerable. And I feel like they are kind of suffering as a result of not being willing to compromise in relationships, and not being willing to be more honest with you about whatever this is, and not being willing to kind of let their guard down. So I think they're acknowledging their higher self. They might be having to learn this as a karmic lesson on this lifetime of how important it is for all of us to be vulnerable and to let down our walls. And we can only allow someone in when we let down our walls. We can't expect someone to climb up a huge wall we put up, you know. We have to allow, kind of set down the drawbridge or whatever, and let them come through. And so I feel like this person is kind of learning that lesson, and they are feeling the loss of you, and that might have been fated for them to go through this kind of karmic lesson to realize how important relationships are and how important emotions are. Let me get some more cards for pile 2 from their person. We got consider your foundation. What is a message from pile 2's person for them? Miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. And slow down. Pause and allow things to unfold. Act as if your partner is here. I feel like this person wants you to slow down and act as if your partner is here when it comes to your current relationship. Like they're kind of trying to tell you to like sabotage that thing. They're like, stop moving so fast, slow down. In fact, just break up with them. How about that? Just slow down entirely and just put a stop to it and come back to me. It's always funny when I feel like they're trying to send a message through, but they're kind of trying to put it through the like spiritual metaphysical cards, but that it basically is like break up with your boyfriend or break up with your girlfriend. So I feel like, yeah, this person wants you to still be loyal to them, even if they didn't step up to the plate. I feel like you should know that they're not really capable of fully expressing their emotions to you, especially, but even to themselves. Like, I feel like they would even play it off to themselves or to their close friends and act like they don't really care that much, or act like they aren't as into you, or that they weren't as emotionally invested somehow. I feel like that's something that might be like a go-to defense mechanism for them, of just acting like they don't really care and acting like it's not that deep. They might say something like that. They might say it's not that deep. Because they don't want to seem vulnerable or like a loser. And I feel like they do view the world a little bit through that lens of like winners and losers and like simps and, you know, that kind of a thing. Like there's this power dynamic in a relationship and one person's going to come out on top and the other person is going to be the loser in the whole thing. So I think that they definitely can kind of acknowledge their own feelings. Their higher self is coming through to acknowledge their own feelings in this and how they should have acted better, I guess, or how I think if they could kind of do things over, or if they really couldn't think about things deeply, they would realize that they probably should have been a lot more honest and be willing to get vulnerable with you. And that if they truly were honest, they would be probably pouring their heart out. And I don't know where this kind of wound came in. It might have been in like family situations or a difficult relationship with their mom or dad, but I just feel like they're not really capable of going that deep at this point in their lives. So they do really appreciate you, their higher self. And I feel like they got a lot out of the relationship and a lot of blessings came out of it. And I feel like in a way, this pain of having you gone from their life has made them realize that it might be time to get a little more vulnerable and not have these walls up. And it might be time to kind of let that drawbridge down, so to speak. So they've actually grown a lot and they are acknowledging that from you. So yeah, I think their feelings for you are really strong. I just think it's not really their MO to pour their heart out, but it doesn't mean they're not feeling those things or that they don't have a desire for you. They definitely have that desire. And I do feel like they would be the type to lurk, to be stalking your social media but not tell you, but maybe have like make some excuse to come into your DMs and to be like, oh, I just saw you adopted a dog. Let me lecture you about all the dynamics of like huskies or something. And you're like, okay, what the heck is this? And that's kind of their excuse to like get back in contact, but they wouldn't necessarily want to be the one who is like, I miss you so much and I'm in love, but to be like, oh, I just wanted to let you know, I saw your car is this kind of car and you should know that like the brakes on this car are this kind of brake, and so you need to drive with this, like, you know what I mean? Some kind of like fact or piece of information that they would claim they need to give you as a kind of guise for getting back in contact and getting to get to talk to you again. So yeah, I hope all of this makes sense. Pile 2, let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So let me know your thoughts and your stories because I love reading them. And make sure to hit the thumbs up button, give this reading a like if it resonated with you, and make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on so you find out as soon as I post. And if it resonated with you, make sure to check out my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. And I just posted one all about what is the gossip about you. So we're talking about what people are saying behind your back, all the little hidden stories and things people are whispering about you and what they wouldn't want you to know. We're exposing it all. So check that one out. I just posted it over at my Patreon, a link in my description for that. And if you want a private one-on-one reading with me, I also offer those at my website, briarrosetarot.com. If you want my undivided attention and me pulling cards specifically for you, you can get that at that website. So the link is in my description for that as well, Briar Rose tarot if you just want one-on-one session with me. So with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back very soon for another reading. So I will see you guys then. Take care of yourselves. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Hey pile 3, so if you guys picked this amethyst crystal, this is going to be your reading. So for your pick a card, you guys got the 8 of Cups, and for your tarot, you got the Emperor, 6 of Wands, 2 of Cups reversed, 7 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles reversed, the Knight of Cups, 9 of Wands, and finally the 6 of Pentacles. So your person is coming through to say how much they wanted to do for you and that things between you guys could have been really amazing. To them, they feel a little bit rejected and like they made you an offer, but you turned it down. They're coming through kind of frantically to say all the things they would have done for you and how they would have just done anything for you. It feels like they wanted to kind of build a life for you and with you. And it feels like they are saying that they're not sure if you were aware of how much they cared and how much they would have done stuff for you. They're specifically keep mentioning done stuff for you. So like, I don't know what this is. I don't know if they wanted to like build a house for you, notebook style, or I don't know, but they're mentioning like doing stuff and kind of earning your affection that way, taking care of you, looking after you. I feel like they wanted to actively add to your life and build things for you and do things for you. Maybe their love language is acts of service or something like that, but it really feels like they keep saying all the things they had in mind to do for you. Like I'm feeling like they would imagine, you know, bringing you breakfast in bed or taking you out on a really amazing date and seeing your eyes widen as you take in like, oh my God, we're going to this restaurant, the nicest restaurant in town. You got us reservations at this place. Or like, wait a minute, you bought us 2 tickets to the ballet. You know I love the ballet. Like I feel like they wanted to kind of take care of you and look after you, and they really fantasized about blowing you away with all the things they would do for you and how they would take care of you, and they feel like you deserve that. They really wanted to cherish you. So honestly, it feels to me like this person has a very mature attitude towards love. I really like their vibe. I can see why you guys had a crush on this person or are still asking about them, because honestly, it sounds like they are a bit of a catch. Like they're very mature and giving in relationships, very loving. Maybe they have a Venus in Pisces or some very exalted Venus, but it feels like they want to, or it could have like strong Capricorn placements, because I do feel like they want to look after people and kind of prove their worth, and they're eager to do that. Like they feel like they didn't get to show you how good they can be, how much they could look after you, how much they can do for you, even maybe to some extent for some of you, especially if you're asking about a masculine paying for you. Like I feel like they really wanted to just prove their worth to you and really show off how amazing they can be and show you like all the things they can add to your life, because I feel like they see you as a bit of a prize. I feel like they see you as someone that would only expect the best or deserves the best. And so this is how they, I think, feel they could add value to you, or like they would need to be providing something like this in order to be in your life, just because you feel very high caliber to them. I think they do find you very beautiful, but also something about your kind of attitude and your energy is not demanding, but like you're not going to accept some kind of dusty behavior. You're not going to accept someone who's coming in and acting like a clown. I feel like you guys do have a lot of self-worth, and you're not really tolerating the toxic stuff. You're not really tolerating the BS or someone maybe negging you. Like I feel like you guys wouldn't be into that. You probably expect some honor, some dignity, and some good behavior from the person you're dating. And I feel like this person knows that. And honestly, they've been looking for a partner like you. They don't want the toxicity. They don't want the relationships where there's like this push-pull, like having to play it cool, and someone who isn't comfortable in a mature relationship. It feels like they really want the real thing, and they could see that with you. And I feel like you're looking for the real thing as well. You guys both feel like you're more emotionally mature and capable of having a real relationship. You're not into like toxic games and the BS and like, you know, pretending you don't care to seem cool. Like I feel like you're both looking for something genuine and real and long term. And so I think this person is like, dang, I didn't get the opportunity to prove to them how much I could bring to their life, how awesome I could be. And I feel like they really wanted to show you that side of themselves. They wanted to make you realize how awesome things between you guys could be and how much they would add value to your life. I want to spin the astro dice and get some astrology info for pile 2. What is the astrological energy for pile 3's person too? Then let me spin that again, although I did see the 12th house, so maybe I'll read a little bit for that. So we got the nodes, we got Aquarius, and we got the 8th house. So that might be some of their placements so far. We did get that Pisces, which I picked up and respun, but I will mention that. 8th house Scorpio, Aquarius, 11th house. So maybe this person could be a Pisces, Scorpio, or Aquarius, or have some of those placements. But with the 8th house, that is really about, that's interesting because that's about shared money, and that's about other people's money and getting money through other people. And like I said, I am getting a vibe that they are saying that they would have paid for you or they would have taken care of you financially, and something about them wanting you to know that. And if you're a masculine and you're like, oh, I definitely would not be into that, could be flipped. It could be that this is a feminine that wanted to kind of take care of you in a feminine way, maybe like emotionally kind of really nurture you and would expect for you to pay for things. I don't know. But what's coming through is like a really strong desire to nurture and look out for you. And if you're a feminine asking about a masculine, I definitely feel like this masculine expected to and wanted to and was happy about like paying for things, or I don't know, something about that, bringing things to the table. Like I feel like this person in this pile, whoever this is, masculine or feminine, wants you to know that they would want to look after you. They want to take care of you. They want to help make your life better in some kind of a way. They want to make you feel soothed and looked after. And there is just a message really quickly. If you are a masculine, maybe you did pay for things for this feminine, and that they're just coming through with thankfulness for that and gratefulness and gratitude, and to let you know maybe they never got the chance to tell you that, but that they are thankful and that it meant a lot to them. Because I don't know, but this keeps being brought up. It's a general reading, so it's gonna resonate for different people, but they keep bringing up the money paying for thing aspect. So of course, take it how it resonates for you, but that's a major theme that I keep getting. Something about someone paying. I think that it's the masculine in most of these vibes, and kind of happiness with that, not like a feeling of like dissatisfaction, but like I feel like both sides, whether it's coming through as a masculine or feminine, both sides, it means a lot, and it's something that's important to them that they want you to know about in a positive way. So then we have Aquarius, and that is ruled by Uranus. It relates to the 11th house. You guys might have met through a circle of friends, or you might have met online dating. And we also have, I didn't mention the 6 of Wands, but they might be stalking your social media, because also Uranus and Aquarius can relate to that. And the 11th house can relate to social media. So maybe they are checking all your posts and definitely paying attention to that. Or you might have a really great social media presence and they just find you very attractive in that way. You might have a social media presence that's showing you living some kind of a glamorous life, because they keep kind of mentioning, again, the financial thing, and almost like they can hang, they can compete, not compete with you, not that they're trying to be competitive, but like they can exist in your world and add to it. They wouldn't be like some leech taking away from you. They can bring things to the table. So they really want you to know, and they're kind of acknowledging that they see you as someone who has a lot going on. They see you as someone who is bringing a lot to the table, as someone who is really kind of a real catch, someone who a lot of people are after. And it's almost like they felt like they had to bring their A game to get with you, because a lot of people are trying to get with you. There's a lot of eyes on you. There's a lot of people paying attention to you. And I also feel like you guys are very cool with kind of being on your own and standing on your own 2 feet. I don't feel like you guys are someone that really feels like you need to fit in with the crowd. And that might be why you guys are kind of independent, or maybe you're not the type of person to constantly be in a relationship, because you're like, I'm cool being single and I don't really care if society judges me, or if society has this idea that everyone has to be in a couple. Like, I'm happy with my life and yeah, I'm good. And I feel like this person really, really respects that. This person is coming through to just acknowledge, like, I think that's so cool that you do that. And I think it's so cool that you're not desperately trying to fit in, or you're not like really hoping to get someone's approval. They think it's really amazing that you guys do your own thing and march to the beat of your own drum in some way, and you're not kind of this hanger on or this crowd follower type who's hoping for approval from others. And I feel like because of that, it makes you very desirable because you're kind of the leader of the pack. You're not a follower. You're not a lemming. You would be like that lion, or maybe you're a Leo, because that just came through, or maybe you have a prominent sun or something, but it feels like you're okay being a leader and being in a little bit of the center of attention vibe. So it feels like a lot of people either have their eyes on you or just kind of respect how you carry yourself. Like, I feel like you guys maybe at different points have had to make unpopular decisions or go against the crowd. And it's something you guys are totally okay with. You're not afraid to stand out. You're not afraid to have a lot of people kind of wondering like, what is this person doing? I don't get it, because you're very like, I'm seeing Rihanna in my mind. So kind of like Rihanna just wears what she likes, and eventually she became a fashion icon because of that. But I always mention this, but I feel like as the same people that talk about how great Rihanna dresses would be totally trashing her if she was some random woman in the streets walking like that. And I'm not saying that to insult Rihanna. I'm saying that to kind of call out people who are a little closed-minded unless it's like socially verified. Like, everyone knows Rihanna's a fashion icon now, so now people will be like, oh my god, yes, she looks amazing. But those same people would roll their eyes if anyone else did it. And so I think sometimes people follow the crowd. People go with like what society pushes or what people in general are supportive of. And I feel like Aquarius's role is to disrupt that and to be like, do your own thing. Like, it's cool to follow your own, march to the beat of your own drum. It's cool to do things that aren't socially like approved of by everyone. And I feel like you guys do that naturally. You're naturally someone that like, you don't really care what people think, or you don't really care what everyone else is up to. You're going to follow your own kind of path and your own destiny. We did get the nodes as well. So this person could feel like you have a faded past life connection. And that can also come true because we got the 12th and 8th house, which are Pisces and Scorpio, two water signs. And that can talk definitely about kind of karmic issues with the 8th house and the 12th house, and also spirituality, connection to the astral plane, psychicness. So maybe you guys have a psychic connection. You guys might come through in connection with music, is what I just heard in my mind. So let me get some more cards. I pre-pulled these. So we got co-create, flexible, community, round and round, and go the distance. So with flexible, that could talk about some of their fantasies about you. I am not going to get too much into that on this reading, but I am going to do an extended reading for this reading, and that'll probably come up in that. So you guys can check that out at my Patreon if you want to find out more about that card. But you can use your imagination to think about flexible and all the things it implies. But I do feel like they definitely find you very attractive, your body very attractive, and they've definitely had some of those fantasies about you. So yeah, if you want to find out more, click the link in my description. I'll put it down there for the Patreon extended. But they definitely wanted to co-create a life with you and kind of imagined things being very long term. Like, I feel like they definitely fantasize, like I said, about doing things for you and about not just the sexuality, although that's definitely true, and we'll talk about that in the other reading, but more along the lines too of a whole life with you. Like, yes, the night of the actual fun activities, but also the morning after, you know, also waking up in bed with you or serving you like orange juice and some toast while you're laying in bed. And I feel like they would be that person who would like look after you and take care of you and want to do things for you and want to make you happy in that way. So they were definitely imagining like the whole 9 yards with you, kind of 10 of Cups energy of like a whole life and everything that entails, and like taking you out to nice restaurants. Also something about your friend groups. We did get community as well. So something about like the people around you, either you guys share friend groups or your friend groups would just really vibe, or their friends would be very impressed with you. Maybe you met some of their friends and you got along with them. but they keep bringing up their friends, your friends, and that vibe, and you guys being connected, or maybe having family connected. But it just feels like it makes sense. You guys being together makes sense. And there's a lot of shared mutuality and connections. There's a lot of things that just, it's like, this is a really steady foundation for a relationship. It's not just like only passion, and it's not only practicality. It's like there's a lot of high level emotion, cups, kind of, we did get the 8th house and the 12th house. So like this water energy, this emotional energy combined with kind of earth energy. So very steady and looking towards you for like a steady long-term situation. So not, I don't see it like a burning out early kind of passion that's over really quick. And we did get the 2 of Cups reverse. We also got the 10 of Pentacles reverse. So again, I feel like there's a steadiness here and a long-term connection. And they are acknowledging that if you are in separation from them, that maybe, you know, that's why the 2 of Cups is reversed now. But I do feel like there was that really strong connection that you guys had when you were together. You might have even kind of finished, not everyone, but finished each other's sentences, some of you, or just had a lot of the same interests, had a lot of the same, like, it just feels like it makes sense. You know, it feels like if one of you guys, like both of you guys would play tennis, or both of you guys would be into golf, or both of you guys would like have the same Sunday routine, and you wake up around the same time, and you're both morning people, or you're both night owls. But I just feel like you guys have so much in common that this would be an easy relationship. And it's not just like easy as in like, oh, no effort. It's in easy like, wow, we're really on the same page with so much, and we have the emotions too, and we just really care about each other. So I feel like these emotions are still there for this person. They want you to know that it hasn't gone away. They still feel just as strongly as they did, and I do feel like they have a really strong urge to reach out to you. In this pile, some of you guys might hear from this person soon or at some point, because I feel like you're on their mind quite frequently, a lot. They're definitely thinking about you, I think, on a pretty consistent basis. And kind of, I feel like they are definitely the one who takes on the blame in this and says that they're the one who messed up. So Spirit is telling me to pull from this deck. So we're going to do this, and then we'll do the songs after this deck. So what messages do you have for pile 3 from their person to them? Serendipity. I'm seeing those desserts from Serendipity in New York, like the frozen hot chocolate. And I don't know, I feel like they want to really do fun, nice things, or like go on touristy trips with you. Maybe some of you guys did go to Serendipity in New York, or you just like went on trips together or something. But I feel like some of you guys, I'm seeing New York in my mind. Maybe there's a connection for some of you to New York, or just they want to take you on like a nice trip, and they fantasized about doing stuff like that for you and going to those kind of fun places. Because, you know, Serendipity is kind of like it's like a fun, like kitschy kind of a thing. Like, yes, I think the desserts are amazing, but it's not just like your run of the mill, like, oh, let's just go get some ice cream. And like, it's like this whole experience, and it's kind of this iconic place, and it's always fun to go. And it feels like just, you know, a cool little, spot that's like a memory. And I feel like they want to do all those kinds of things for you. They want to take you to like the special cool places. I just saw in my mind, this is so funny, the Rainforest Cafe. I don't know if some of you guys remember those places, but that kind of a thing where like it's a special, like I feel like they wouldn't want to just take you out and be like, where do you feel like going? Do you feel like getting, okay, let's go get Italian. I feel like they would like plan your dates in advance and make sure everything was on point, and make sure like they made the reservation, and make sure that they ordered, like sometimes, you know, you have to order like the souffles in advance. Like they would do that. They would call ahead and just be like, I want to make sure like they can't eat gluten. Are there things that, you know, that you have that are gluten-free? Like they would do all the planning to make sure you were super happy for whatever you needed. But yeah, so I feel like they do fantasize about running into you. And honestly, it just feels like you guys were such a great match. I could definitely see this pile picking things back up, because I think sometimes when there's too much fire energy, it's so exciting, and like it's so like kind of addictive, but it can burn itself out. But you guys feel really calm and like you guys are very mature and like you guys would make great parents if you guys wanted to have kids together. You guys might even have very attractive kids together is what I'm seeing. Something about the combination of your features are very like compatible, like they just would work really well together. Some of you guys might even look kind of similar to this person, or there's just something about you guys where just the features would just match up really well. And if you guys did have kids together, it would just be like, oh my God, that's the cutest kid ever. You know, those kids where you're like, wow, they got the best from each parent, or like, wow, those parents, even if they don't look alike, like they just had the perfect mix and match and like everything just works and they make adorable kids. I feel like that would be something you guys have where you would have like a perfect little family that everyone would look at and think is just adorable. But with emotional freedom, I definitely feel like they felt like they could be very open with you, talk to you about a lot of different things. You're very calm, you're very loving. Yeah, they really liked their conversations with you. What else do you want us to know from pile three's person, Spirit? We got maturity. Oh, okay, that's not maturity. It says manifestation. Sorry for misreading that. But I do feel like you guys are really mature. So luminosity, they do find you very beautiful. And with manifestation, they might be trying to manifest you, or you guys might be spiritually very into different spirituality things. But there is this kind of feeling that they look up to you a little bit. So maybe it's because of some of your spiritual practices, but I definitely feel like they kind of put you up on a pedestal a little bit. Let me get one final card for pile three from their person, life purpose. So I feel like this person, yeah, I mean, I already just said it, but they definitely put you up on a pedestal and see you as a little bit of even almost like a teacher or a guide for them. So let me get some songs for pile three. What songs do we have to sum up the vibe? Waiting in Vain, Bob Marley. Maybe some of you guys were into Bob Marley together. Okay, I'm closing my eyes. Right Through Me, Nicki Minaj. What Part of Forever, CeeLo Green. Infinite Arms, Band of Horses. So these are some calm vibe songs. Thinking of You, Frank Ocean. And like I mentioned, I think they definitely think of you a lot. I feel like, you know what's coming to my mind is like, you know those parents that are like the parents that always bring their kids to concerts? Like at least where I grew up, there was all these like concerts in the parks and stuff like that. And it was always a lot of times you'd see like older couples that had grown up listening to like Bob Marley together, or grown up listening to like, I don't know, the Beach Boys or something. And then like, you know, they'll do like reunion tours or cover bands, and you'll see those like older couples like bringing their kids and like standing together, dancing to the music, like arms around each other. Like that's the vibe. I feel like you guys just seem like you're so stable together. Like you might be into the same music, or you have like that same taste where, you know, those couples, like the music was a big part of it, and they might have been hippie couples, or they might have been into some scene in particular. But I feel like there's this shared kind of values, shared unity of belief in the world, or belief in like spirituality or emotionality or whatever it is. And I feel like you guys really have that together. And there's this really strong possibility that if you guys did get a second chance, I feel like you guys could make it work, because you're not immature. You do have this clarity, this understanding of each other. So yeah, they think of you a lot. They definitely think of you a lot. Let's get more cards for pile three. Awful Things, Lil Peep. Okay. Pillow Talk, Zayn. And I do feel like your conversations would be really on point. Always Be My Baby, Mariah Carey. How sweet. And Style, Taylor Swift. So they definitely think of you a lot and have these really intense memories of you. They definitely kind of replay certain shots of you in in their mind. And if I just saw someone's head laying down on a pillow and like their face and what it looks like when they're sleeping. So I don't know if some of you guys had that experience with them where you guys were in bed together. I feel like they definitely have memories of that and have memories of how your face looks while sleeping. And if not, they definitely just fantasized about that, fantasized about waking up next to you. I just heard Waking Up in Vegas by Katy Perry. So maybe some of you guys went on trips together or something, but I feel like, or again, they fantasize about it, but it's like they wanted to enter that stage of the relationship with you that was past just the heady beginning where you're like into the person and it's chaotic and you're really in love and everything's really intense. They wanted to move into the part of the relationship where it's like there's this trust. And you know what? I just heard that little peep lyric, which is put it on me, baby. That's the best part, the trust. That's me like trying to quote it off the top of my head. So I don't know if I got everything right, but yeah. Put it on me, baby. That's the best part, the trust. And I don't know, that's not from Awful Things. It's from another song, but I just heard it so strong in my head. So maybe that's why we got Lil Peep, was to kind of trigger that in me, because Awful Things is kind of not the vibe I'm getting for this. So maybe that's why, but I feel like they wanted your trust. And I just heard, I want your deep love and emotion. So it's like they wanted to move past this stage of just kind of either being cordial with each other and knowing each other on a social level, and then past that early stage in the relationship where it's very intense, but your emotions aren't in it. And they wanted really to get to that point to you where it's like you've settled in, you're comfortable with each other. Maybe you're laying on the couch watching Netflix, you're having a lazy Sunday together. Like, I really feel like they wanted something deep with you. And I do feel that if you guys got the chance to get back together, that you could pick things up right where they left off. And now I'm hearing that song. A lot of songs are coming through for this reading, so maybe you guys definitely do connect with each other and communicate through songs. But I feel like, yeah, I'm hearing right back where it started from. So I feel like they would like to get things back to how they were and get that chance to talk to you again. And this spun over into Gemini. So I feel like the conversation was on point. The conversation with you guys, we got pillow talk. It always was on point. It always was really there. So let's end things up with some message cards for pile 3 from their person. Pile 3 from their person. Okay, so we got spiritual connection. Wow, that's so true for you guys. And let's see what else. What other messages do we have from pile 3's person for pile 3? Physical touch. A tender touch can mean so much. Oh, that's sweet. Back to what you love. I thought that was going to say back to where we started from, which is what I was quoting, but yeah, they want to go back. They want to go back to how things were. They want another chance, and they feel like I can make this happen. Just give me the shot. I'm hearing just put me in, coach, or something like that. Act as if your partner is here. So yeah, you guys have a very spiritual, deep connection. There could be the potential for marriage here if you guys could make things happen and actually get back together and have the opportunity to like come back together in some way. There's definitely the depth of the emotional connection and the maturity that this could turn into a long-term marriage or a long-term steady relationship. It feels like you guys are both mature. You guys are both at that stage where you are ready for that type of connection. You're not young and immature, or energetically, even if you are young, you're just not an immature person. Like, you could be that person that gets married at 18 and they stay together for life. It doesn't feel like you guys are young, immature, and just kind of into each other sexually and that's it. Although, again, that sexual component is there, and I'll probably cover that on my Patreon if you want to watch that. But it's so much deeper too. There's also the spirituality, and we'll talk about that too on Patreon, by the way. I don't want people to think it's just going to be like only the sexuality. Definitely not. Just more open-ended over there. But I feel like you guys have a lot of respect for each other. You guys have this deep kind of resonance with each other and so much in common, this commonality, these shared interests, maybe even shared family kind of vibes. Like maybe you have the same type of family, like maybe both of your families vacation at a certain place every year and that's how y'all met, like go to a certain like island off the coast of South Carolina or something every year. Or maybe you guys have similar family backgrounds or similar cultures or customs or something that really unite you guys. It just feels like there's so much in common and such a strong foundation for a long-term connection. And it's not to say, of course, that people from different cultures or different families can't connect. That would be ridiculous. But I just think sometimes those things make it easier. Like it's like you don't have to explain. You know what I mean? It's not like the defining thing. I just think sometimes in modern relationships, things can get hard no matter who you are. And when you're like, oh, okay, we kind of are on the exact same page about everything, it's like one less thing to argue about. You know what I mean? So if you guys are different in many ways, don't take that as like, so you can't connect. To me, you guys seem easy. Like I feel like nothing needs to be explained. It's just like, oh, this is just like so intuitive and easy, and we just get each other, and there's no having to figure each other out or wondering about the other person. It's just so easy. So yeah, I think this person thinks of you still, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do want to reach out to you and they do want to get back together with you. I'm being told to spin the astrodice one last time, so I'm going to do that. So we got Mercury, as I'm talking about, and that just spun over to Neptune. 11th house, we already covered that, and Leo. So they just put you up on a pedestal. They see you as the sun energy, Leo, royalty. They really just want to like look after you and take care of you and just kind of, I feel like I'm seeing someone pulling someone a bath, like drawing them a bath and, you know, like scattering rose petals, or just really wanting to cook for you or just impress you and just really make you feel like the prize that you are. And then it was at Gemini. So like I was saying, or Mercury, they definitely want to communicate. They definitely want to talk to you. And then it's went over to Neptune, which we already covered, that 12th house energy, and 11th house. We already covered that. But I definitely feel like you guys have that shared friend group and this connection on the astral plane. So yeah, maybe you guys will be writing into me in like a year, like, hey, by the way, we got back together. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because there's a lot of stability and beautiful energy here. So yeah, this is a very sweet energy, you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you guys. So let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure to give this reading a big thumbs up. Hit the like button if it resonated with you, and make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on so you find out as soon as I post. And if you want to see my additional reading for this energy, then definitely check out my Patreon where I will post it. I'm posting the link below the timestamps in my description, so you can check that out if you want to see more of the energy here and go into it in greater detail. And also all my additional readings are over there, and I just posted one all about the gossip about you. So if you want to watch that, you can definitely check that out at my Patreon. So there's a ton of readings over there. Definitely check it out and at least browse and see what there is to choose from. And if you want a one-on-one reading with me with my undivided attention, you can get that as well at my website, briarrosetarot.com, to get that one-on-one time with me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. So take care of yourselves, and I will see you then. Bye. Hey, pile 4. So for your pick a card, you guys got the 10 of Cups, and for your tarot, you got the 9 of Cups, 4 of Wands, Justice, the Lovers, 3 of Wands, the Ace of Swords, 8 of Cups, and the 2 of Cups. So I can tell that your person had extremely strong feelings for you. They definitely envisioned some kind of long-term future. It feels like they were very emotionally fulfilled with you. It's interesting that even from 2 different decks, we got the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Cups leading off the reading. So clearly some really strong emotional contentment. I'm feeling like when I'm with you, everything's okay. Like maybe they might have even had some depression or anxiety or been really upset, and you kind of took that away, or they were just feeling very alone in the world. And I feel like you kind of opened them up in a way and transformed them and made them realize how beautiful life can be. So you added so much value to their life. And I feel like this was a very deep spiritual connection. We did get the Lovers, and it came out right above the Two of Cups. So clearly some very deep feelings here and a lot of intensity. This might have been like a soulmate relationship, soul connection. And this person, I feel, they first of all are going on and on about how much you meant to them. So they really want you to know that. They really want you to know how much they cared and that their heart was truly in this. And whatever feelings you felt or wanted to feel that they felt, maybe you were questioning yourself, like, are those feelings real? I get the vibe that they're really like me, but they're really in love with me, but maybe they're just saying that, or maybe I'm just imagining things, I'm just having wishful thinking. But no, they truly had very deep emotions for you and something about you bringing them a lot of joy and happiness. So it feels like when you guys are together, it's almost like nothing can go wrong. Everything is going right with the world when you're around. And I'm hearing that song, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, but nothing's worrying me. And so I feel like it was just kind of a bit of a dream for them, like being around you. It was kind of better than they could have ever imagined. Like maybe all those stereotypes of falling in love and just, the world is suddenly a beautiful, happy place. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from them. So they're really, really acknowledging that. And they want you guys to know how happy you did make them and that their feelings were genuine and very intense. And they are bringing up also this sense of deep loss that they felt as well. They did feel very bereft. I'm feeling like you guys left them, but I could be wrong. But they're kind of saying that there was something where you put an end to it or something, or they were willing to continue going on, or there was some rejection from your side is what they kind of keep pointing to. So as far as they're concerned, they are a little bit upset about that still, and they do feel like it was a major loss and not something, but they're also, some of them are also acknowledging with that Eight of Cups that it's almost like maybe they could have tried more. I almost feel like maybe you made the first pull away and then some of them pulled away as a response or something like that, where maybe you didn't realize how much your actions would affect them. Maybe you were like, well, let's just take a break or something. And they just went crazy and just were like, okay, so it's over. Or maybe you just didn't return a text and then you didn't understand why they, just kind of seized all contact. But they're kind of saying it started with you and then maybe it escalated on their end. And I feel like a lot of that was them not knowing your emotions. They're saying they didn't really know fully where you stood on this situation. Something about you guys playing your emotions close to the vest. Like, I feel like you guys didn't tell them how you feel. I feel like there was a lot of kind of miscommunication in this pile. Like, I feel they didn't effectively communicate their feelings at the time, and neither did you. And definitely they were in a little bit of confusion about how does this person feel? What do they think of me? Do they even like me that much? I feel like both of you guys were thinking like, am I kind of going crazy? Am I imagining things? Like, why am I thinking of this person so much? Or why do I have such deep feelings? Because it feels like when you guys were together, I'm almost getting, I know this is odd, but like a brother-sister vibe or a friend vibe, but it feels like it was romantic. But I almost feel like you guys might have spent past lifetimes together as siblings or as like best friends, because it just feels like there's this emotional closeness and kind of like laughing together and having the same sense of humor and telling the same jokes and kind of almost being mischievous together. So it feels like you're kind of partners in crime almost, like you would laugh at the same stuff, or yeah, like not even need to communicate and just communicate through like giving each other a look, and like the other one would crack up, in the way that like only kind of best friends can do. So it feels like things moved really intensely and really fast, and maybe that's why both of you guys were kind of thrown off and a little bit confused, like, I must be imagining things. It's not possible to feel this deep after just knowing someone for like 3 days or something, whatever the time period was. So yeah, I think that both of you guys, it feels like it also came in as a surprise. I don't feel like you guys were looking for this, it feels like it was a real shock for both of you. Like, oh, I can really connect with someone on this level. I wasn't really looking for something like this, and it just came out of the blue. I just literally, as I'm saying that, I just looked at my timer and it said 555, which is the number in numerology of major change. So, yeah, that would be a confirmation for you guys that this was like a major change or upheaval, or like you were living a certain life and just living your life, going about your business, not really expecting something like this. And it just feels like it came in and like upended everything. Like, just, I'm seeing someone flipping a table over and just, it's like, where did this come from? It came from out of the blue. And I don't feel like you or them had the tools to kind of make this relationship work. You know, when you're like in dating mode and you're kind of looking to date and you're looking to meet people and you're looking for a relationship. So it's like when that opportunity presents itself, you're ready to go. You're like, okay, I know how to handle this. I'm looking for a relationship, so we can have this situation and we'll date, and then we'll have the talk, and then we'll be exclusive, and then maybe down the road we'll get engaged. And there's kind of like this expectation of, oh, okay, I understand what this is. I understand what we're doing together. And I'm on this path and this is what I want. And so this aligns with that and I'm perfect. But it feels like you guys almost were not looking for this, not looking for something like that. And it's so, because it came so out of the blue, it's kind of like you didn't know how to handle it. You were just like, wait a minute, what do we do now? Wait, we like each other, but we're not really looking for that. And it feels like everyone is just confused. Like, I feel like there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of things being left unsaid. And I do feel like this person would love the opportunity to reach out and actually talk to you again, because they have a very fond place in their heart for you. They see you as very nurturing and sweet and loving, and just someone that like really was so kind to them and added to their life. Like, just, I don't know if you guys are water signs. We have a lot of cups energy, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but it feels like you guys are very compassionate and intuitive, and there was a lot of intuitive communication, I feel, between you guys, like just looks and glances that would say it all. And I do feel like this person, you guys, it feels like you had fun together. We got the Four of Wands. That's such a fun card. And it can also talk about marriage, which we see here. So they might have really envisioned or thought you were like the one that they wanted to marry. They might have thought about getting married. Let's spin the astro dice. What are the astrological energies with how Pile 4's person thinks of them? So we got Neptune, then we got the 5th house, and we got Libra. So those are some romantic energies in my opinion. Pisces is a romantic sign, kind of at heart, dreamy, romantic, ruled by Neptune, the 12th house. So very intuitive and imaginative. And that's definitely the vibe I'm getting. It's almost like you guys had a dream world. Like, I feel like when you guys were together, it was almost like everyone else vanishes from the room. I mean, obviously not literally, but as far as you guys and your attention and your focus, it's like you only have eyes for each other, and you guys have this almost hidden language that both of you guys speak with each other. And again, there's this vibe of little kids, which the 5th house can talk about, children and offspring. So it feels like you guys have the same interests, you have the same kind of fun. And you might have even had Sun aspecting like their Jupiter, like in your synastry chart, you might have had Sun, Moon aspects, Venus, Moon, Venus, Sun. It just feels like when you guys are together, you guys can laugh, understand each other, and you're kind of each other's biggest fans. You know, like you find each other both really funny, really great, really engaging. I do feel like you guys would probably have some kind of major Sun aspect in synastry, and it's like you see the best in each other. Both of you guys really like the other person and respect the other person and genuinely get along with each other. So they're just really acknowledging that. It's almost like they're like, why fight? Why talk about all the bad things? Let's just talk about all the good times we had together. And they're really going on and on about that. So with Libra, Libra is an interesting sign because it is ruled by Venus, planet of love. But another thing about Libra that's coming to my mind is that it's generally likes to keep the peace and doesn't really love to have those difficult discussions, to have those tough conversations, to be really open and honest about their feelings, because they're always worried that like they're going to hurt someone's feelings or upset someone. So they tend to keep a lot of things close to the vest and just be like, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, no, no. And a lot of times Libras can get themselves in kind of bad situations because of that, because they just hate to like bring something up that's bothering them, and so they'll just kind of let it fester and let it build. And I don't know if that's how things fell apart with you guys, but it feels like there were things that needed to be said, things that needed to be communicated that never said out loud, just kind of small things. It doesn't feel like there was some big falling out, like some huge betrayal, someone like stabbing someone in the back. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like there was something small, like this little kernel, or even just a lack of communication, even just not communicating or not talking. It doesn't feel like there was some big blowout to me. Or if there was, it feels like it could have been averted so much earlier, because whatever caused it is really not a big deal and shouldn't have been a big deal. So I am getting that kind of Libra hesitancy, like to rock the boat and to make anyone mad. So I'm just going to keep it to myself. And Pisces definitely can, well, not as much Pisces, but Pisces can tend to genuinely look the other way. And it's not that they're repressing their feelings, but they can kind of like be really optimistic and kind of pretend to themselves like, well, that's going to be fine. And so Libra and Pisces as both mutables can be very kind of going with the flow of a situation and kind of changing their mind and not really knowing exactly where they stand. And so it can be hard for them sometimes to even know, like, should I be mad about this situation? Should I say something? Because maybe I'm going to feel different 5 minutes later. And I feel like there's a lot of this kind of confusion going on. There's a lot of this, I'm just going to kind of hope this goes away and not deal with it. And I feel like someone needed to be kind of the cardinal sign energy and kind of burst in and be like, this is what's going on. But let's get some more cards. So we got Fork in the Road, Between Worlds, All the Glitters, and Mending. So I feel like you guys got to know each other on such a deep level, deeper than anyone else. With All the Glitters, that can talk about really seeing past the surface level. And I feel like that's what happened, even though I feel both of you guys are attractive. So a lot of people are probably drawn to you, but it feels like both of you guys understood each other in a way that no one else really could. Like, you understood each other on such a deep level and other people didn't really see it. They might have thought they knew this person, or they might have thought they knew you, but compared to how you guys truly knew each other, it was nothing in comparison. You guys had such deeper conversations and a deeper understanding. And I do feel like you guys are present with each other on the astral plane. Definitely, for sure. You guys, I think, have that communication that's very psychic, and still probably are in contact, come through songs, which we'll be picking later, towards each other. I feel like this person might have made a decision with Fork in the Road. It might have been either them making the decision or you making the decision. And it's almost like they're coming through with a little regret. Like, I wish I had handled that differently. I don't think I knew what to do. Like, I feel like they're saying that it kind of fell apart. Like, it doesn't feel like either side is fully in the wrong. It feels like both sides are kind of in the wrong, but I don't even know if I would say that, because it doesn't feel like anyone did anything catastrophic. It feels like something just fell off and there was a lack of communication or whatever. And by the way, I'm going to be doing an extended version of this. So if you want to, we'll probably go into more detail about all this stuff in the extended. So I'm going to post the link below just to give you guys a heads up about that. But yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys had some kind of small thing, and there was a decision made to not send a text, or there was a decision made not to follow up with something, or just kind of, I feel like both of you guys also was really hard for you because your emotions were super involved and you really cared about the other person and respected their opinion. So it was really hard to have like a difficult convo and be like, listen, this isn't working. We need to fix this. So both of you guys just kind of swallowed it down. Both of you guys might have people pleaser tendencies, or be in a family where you were kind of like a mediator or something like that, and you tend to bring that in relationships. So I feel like it's almost like both of you guys needed some kind of take charge person to come in and be like, hey, this is what's going on. But your person is definitely acknowledging their mess ups. And I feel like also they are calling you out, not a lot, but just a little of like, well, and you kind of could have done that as well. It just feels like kind of Yeah, I just keep hearing things fall apart, which is a line from one of my favorite poems. And so it feels like there was just, it's almost like what could have been done, you know? There wasn't like someone, I don't know, doing something really a betrayal. It was just a mess. But let me get some music cards and pull these and see what music messages we have for pile 4 from their person. So we got Right Through Me, Nicki Minaj. And like I was saying, I feel like you guys see each other down to the surface. Only You, Ellie Goulding. Always Be My Baby, Mariah Carey. Aw, that's so sweet. Hypnotize, Fleetwood Mac. Emotion, Bee Gees. Well, that's perfect for all these cup cards. And then we got Shades of Cool, Lana Del Rey, and Beyond Love, Beach House. So there was so much depth here. And we also got Runaway With Me, Carly Rae Jepsen. So I really do feel like this person, they might even fantasize about like leaving their life now and like contacting you or calling you. I can see with that Ace of Swords that they do have this desire to reach out to you. They do have this desire to contact you and to be around you again. It feels like whatever feelings and emotions they had never really left. Like it's still there. They still really do care. And they consider you as still very prominent or like a major factor in their mind. It doesn't feel like you're kind of in the past and they've kind of moved on mentally. It feels like they still feel very present to you, and your connection, if it's just on the astral plane, is still fairly strong is what I'm getting. And I feel like they found you to be very, very beautiful. Like I feel like they just were so attracted to you. Something about you guys being very cute and charming and maybe smaller than them. Like, I don't know if you guys were shorter than them or the feminine was shorter than the masculine. But something about you being kind of cute and like, I just feel like very, almost youthful, something about your energy that I feel like really endears them to you. I also feel like there was kind of an element of wildness going on here. Like, I don't know if you guys did stuff together, like maybe you drank together or like went out to bars together or did anything like that. But I feel, or just broke the rules together in some way, but it feels almost like you guys both see each other as kind of cool. Like we got Shades of Cool, and I feel like both of you guys kind of are like, oh, this person's kind of awesome. Like they're and not just awesome, but cool. Like there's something that they, I think, respect about you. Like they don't just view you as like a romantic partner who is kind of romantically attractive, but kind of boring or whatever. Like they see you as like, this is a cool person. Like I said, it's almost like sibling or friend vibes. You know how when you're looking for a friend, like you don't really care as much about like how attractive they are or about other things that you might look for in a romantic partner. You're just like, are they cool? Can we hang? Do we have the same interests? Are they funny? And it feels like you guys really tick that off for each other. Like you genuinely enjoy the other person. And whatever you do, your sense of style, like the things you're interested in, the way you talk, they just think it's cool. They think you're cool. And I feel like the feeling is mutual. I feel like you guys return that kind of, hypnotize is a good word for it. Like you're just kind of fascinated by each other. You're just kind of like, wow, like this person has a lot of layers to them. Like if they were a celebrity, you'd probably gravitate towards them and see them as your favorite celebrity or something, you know, and vice versa. Like you'd probably just feel called to them no matter what context you came across them, because it feels like there's a really big depth of unification on the spiritual plane. So like a lot of similarities up on the spiritual plane. Let me get some cards from this deck. How does pile 4's person see pile 4? So we got the distorted masculine and we got serendipity. Okay, so I think they're kind of acknowledging, like I said, I do feel like they're taking a good amount of blame in this and letting you know that it was a lot of their actions and not your actions that caused all of this, I do feel like they're kind of wishing and hoping that there would be some chance of running into you, but it feels like that hope is kind of dwindling as time moves on. I don't know if a lot of time has passed for some of you guys, and I'm getting if a lot of time has, there might have been some initial anger when you guys first kind of separated, and maybe this person did blame you. Maybe they were in distorted masculine kind of energy of blaming others and not taking responsibility. But now I feel like this person has become a lot more honest with themselves about their own part, and a lot of those nasty memories have faded into fondness for you. So they can look back at you and just kind of smile at the times you guys had together and how much you added to their life. And I do feel like now they're starting to realize that, like, they're the ones in control, and spirit isn't just going to magically bring you guys together, that they would have to be the one to like reach out. Because for some of you guys, it feels like you don't live in the same place, or there's just less of a chance of you guys running into each other. Like maybe you worked in the same office building, but now you don't work in the same building or something like that. But it just feels like things have changed where they're kind of accepting that I don't think I'm going to run into them that way. I would like to, but I don't know if I can. So there's a lot of fond memories coming through. They just keep bringing up all the fond memories of like laughing and having fun. But what else can we find out for pile 4 about pile 4's person's feelings for them? Spirit, what can we find out? Intimacy. Okay. Let's see what else. And luminosity. So again, they find you guys to be very beautiful, very physically quite beautiful, and kind of like a gentle, sweet energy. Like I feel like they were able to open up to you and tell you things that they kind of couldn't tell anyone else. And it feels like you guys really got down deep into each other's layers and really understood each other on a soul karmic level. Whereas other people might have gotten an idea of both of you, because it feels like both of you guys are kind of attractive and, like I said, kind of cool. Maybe you both were kind of well liked in your social groups or something like that. But it feels like even though you might both have had a lot of people wanting to know you on that deep level, that you truly opened up to each other on such a deep way that no one could really compare with. Even maybe if they're in a current relationship, they might not have had those deep conversations that they're having, that they had with you, or that level of understanding, that level of kind of freedom. And maybe that's why almost things became like fell apart in that way, is like maybe you started just expecting the other person to read your mind a little bit, because it was like the normal situation to read each other's minds. You just felt like you knew each other so well that maybe you just started expecting that the other person would know and that they would bring it up or whatever. And maybe that's, sometimes I think that level of like almost intimacy or trust in the other person, it might, hopefully it won't, but sometimes it could make someone a little lazy and just expect them to like be able to say exactly or know exactly what you're feeling. So yeah, I think that they also were very, it feels like the intimacy with you, and I can't talk too much about it on here, but I will get into it in the extended reading on Patreon. But I do feel like the intimacy with you, it was very deep for them and emotional. Like it was, if you guys were, I'm getting some of you guys didn't reach that stage of like fully, how do I talk about this on YouTube and not on Patreon? Maybe you didn't fully reach all the stages of intimacy, we'll say, but I feel like maybe you guys, when you were together, there was a depth to it. For those of you guys who did reach that stage, it feels like there was an emotionality here and a really soul level of connecting that I feel like is very rare for them, and they really truly appreciate that. And again, we'll get into more of that aspect on Patreon. So if you want to see that, click the link in my description, or I'm going to post it in the timestamps too. I want to spin the astro dice again. What are the other energies? Wow, we got the nodes, then we got the 11th house, and we got Cancer. So a lot of water sign energy coming through. So far we have had Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, and Aquarius. So those might be the dominant signs, and I'm going to throw Scorpio in there too, just because it's the other water sign and there's so many cups and we got the other two, so include that. But I feel like those might be the dominant astrology signs for you guys. But with the nodes, it definitely feels like you guys had a past life relationship or some kind of soul connection on the other side, and maybe that this was a fated relationship to teach you guys things in this lifetime, because it feels like you learned a lot and had that deep soul connection that wasn't just a fling or a quick relationship. It feels like there was so much care and concern and kind of deep love for each other that goes beyond just like, oh, this person's cute and we get along. I feel like, yeah, like even something about, I just keep hearing someone say this person's cute or something like that. Maybe someone even would downplay the relationship. Maybe that's where there's confusion. Like maybe both of you guys didn't want to come off as like feeling too much, so you play someone playing it down to others or acting like it's like, oh, it's no big deal, oh, I don't really care, well, I don't care if you go to the party, but it'd be cool to see you, or something like that, like really trying to downplay it. Because again, I feel like there was this fear that people are going to think I'm nuts if they know I think about this person that much and that I feel that close to them and I haven't known them that long. Then we have the 11th house of Aquarius. So like I said, I feel like you guys were fairly respected in each other's social circles. And whatever you guys do, I feel like it's cool in that Aquarian way. Like both of you guys kind of march to the beat of your own drum, like to do your own thing. You don't really care so much if you're not approved by others, but I feel like generally you guys are well liked, which is such an Aquarius vibe. So it's kind of like I don't really need a ton of people around me, but they just kind of gravitate towards me. And both of you guys are kind of independent thinkers in that way. So I feel like a lot of people like both of you. So you probably had a lot of attention on you in that sense. Then we have Cancer, and Cancer is a very nurturing, loving sign, which is definitely the vibe that I was talking about at the beginning of this reading, where I feel like you really helped them and took care of them, and they're acknowledging how much you did for them and how much they opened up to you. And I feel like that nurturing feeling kind of goes to both sides. Like I feel like they also looked after you to a certain extent, and you guys both really uplifted each other and helped each other work through certain things. And there's this deep soul connection. Also, Cancer, it relates to the 4th house of family and the moon. So I feel like there might be that sibling vibe in past lifetimes, or just it feels like that soul memory of like someone that almost feels like family when you meet them, just because you just have so much in common, or you just vibe so much, or you have similar families, or whatever this is. But the moon is really where you find your kind of deepest relationships and your deepest, truest, the way you are with like your very closest family, very closest friends, and that deep part of you, that deep emotional part of you. And I feel like you guys really activated that with each other. And again, that connection on the astral plane, maybe you guys come up to each other when you have full moons that aspect your synastry. But let's get some final messages for pile 4. Choose love. And I feel like that's what this person didn't do, because again, we got that fork in the road, and I feel like they really messed up on whatever choice they made with handling this. Love is all around you. Wow, I feel like that's a message from them. Love makes the difference, and have faith. Wow. So they might have the intention to step back towards you, and I do feel like it doesn't feel like they're completely thinking that this relationship is over or that there's no chance. I also think it feels like for some of you guys, a good amount of time has passed and they kind of don't know, like, how the heck would I contact this person? How would I possibly DM them or call them or whatever? Like, they're going to think I'm crazy if I do that. And I feel like that whole mentality has been like a theme from the beginning of this relationship. You guys both kind of worry about like the other person's going to think I'm nuts. But I do feel like those feelings still remain, and their love is still around you very strongly on the astral plane. It's like they think of you very fondly. They have such a fondness for you in their heart, and just really look towards you as like this kind of beacon in their life of, I think, feeling good, appreciating you, just it's almost like they want more of you. They want more of your time and your attention. And I feel like things with you felt so different from other relationships they've been in or other situations they've had. And it's almost like you might have been their first love, or they thought they had been in love until they met you. And then you brought that out a lot more. So yeah, there's a lot of depth of emotion here. So if you guys want to see more of this, definitely check out the link that I'm going to post under the timestamps for the extended reading on my Patreon. And we have a lot of other readings over there as well. I just posted one about what the gossip is about you, so that's a fun one to watch. But anyway, if you want to watch the extended version, definitely subscribe to my Patreon, and you can watch all the other readings too. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how it resonates in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So drop your thoughts below and make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you can find out as soon as I post. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you guys very soon in the next reading. Take care of yourselves. Bye.